those that don't hear must always feel. You know what I'm saying? And my mum told me that from young, and trust me, those that don't hear must always feel. And I was that kid. I have always been that kid.
Oh man, yeah. Toxic. Dreams don't work unless you gon' put that work in. Yeah. Dreams don't work unless you gon' put that work in. Had to change something, I was done, I was hurting. I was on the edge, yeah, I guess I almost lost it. Gotta understand something, this the life of toxic.
You know what made me toxic? Genuinely. Having to deal with all these guys that are constantly breaking my heart. I think it started when I was probably young with my dad. I think not having my dad around was definitely like a big impact on my life. I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of whys. Like, I blame my mum for a lot of things. I tried to reach out and it was toxic. Like, genuinely, even my parents couldn't be level enough to technically raise me in a civil environment. So, and I've literally continued to do that with my son. Like, and when I was dealing with the whole situation with my son, I got told, like, oh, this is a cycle that you will be on now. And it didn't, like, sit with me until after now, for the sake of, you know what, it's true. Like, and I have to break the cycle at some point. You know, like, I can't keep continuing these toxic, like, ways that I've also inherited during growing up for, like, so I definitely think that growing up in a toxic environment made who I am. Like, I have songs where, you know, I say, I was fighting with my mum before I knew just how to learn. Like, that was a constant rebellion, especially by the time that I got to 16. And then from there, I just think it was hard, like, to find healthy relationships. So I was just floating and basically trying to fit in wherever I wanted to be at that time. So yeah, I was a bit crazy, really, you know. We've all got many stories and tales and whatnot, so, you know, many lives that we lived. So, yeah, but I think that was probably the early stages that I also used to use, like, manipulation and control of other people to then get what I wanted, because it was like, well, I've missed out on so much growing up, and, you know, my mum kept me inside up until I was literally 16, so by then I was like, oh, I've missed being able to go out. I've missed this. Like, my friends were all doing this from years ago. Like, oh my God, I want to do this. So I did it all fast and then learnt the hard way. Like, those that don't hear must always feel. You know what I'm saying? And my mum told me that from young, and trust me, those that don't hear must always feel. And I was that kid. I have always been that kid, even as an adult. You know what my mum said to me? Some people make shit kids and great adults. And apparently that's me. I said sick. I don't know how to take it, but I'm taking it. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Must have meant something to her. So yeah, but then you're picking up habits. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you think, oh, if I'm not gonna get my way, this is how I'm gonna act. Like da da da. So that brought me onto, like, being an adult by then. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really have that young teenage adult stage. Like, I just hit that adult stage. So by then I'd got into relationships, like, with my baby dad, and again, toxic, didn't know how to act. Like, there's a lot of factors in that relationship that I was wrong for, like, very much, you know, and there's a lot of things that he was wrong for very much, but we could never sit down on a ground to communicate properly enough to move on past that. Do you know what I mean? And it's only been, like, how many years later that maybe now there'd be some sort of ground to communicate. So, like, that's hard. Like, do you know what I mean? And then not having that closure for so long, yeah, like, it's so hard to deal with. And especially, like, me not having my son and not having closure on the situation is very hard. And, you know, there's lots of different perspectives that you can take it from, but when you're a young person and you're in a situation where there's nobody else other than your perpetrator, like, what are you supposed to do? Do you know what I mean? And services were coming and trying to help me and stuff like that, but when you're young and you're not experienced in a lot of things, you're just gonna carry on doing things and say, I don't really want to care, and I'm rebelling and everything else. So it's only been now that I've been able to actually sit down and reflect and think, oh my God, like, why did I not walk away? Like, why did I not do this? But I've been on courses now to learn that, like, you know, it takes something like 9 to 16 times to try and leave a domestic violence relationship before you eventually actually leave. Like, I'll try and pull up the stats, but, you know, it is very hard when you're trapped in that. And I say all the time now, leaving that relationship, I felt like I was in like a trance. Like, I was blinded by things, because coming out I'm like, oh my god, I would never let a man do that to me. Like, I would never let that happen to me now. Do you know what I mean? But that's because I've built up all them barriers through going through that situation to become now like, oh my god, no. Like, I've learned things now. Like, do you know what I mean? That's wrong, that's right, like, that's healthy, that's not. So it's kind of hard though when you've not been taught them things ever. Do you know what I mean? So I'm learning on the job here. Like, I'm literally learning on the job. So that's hard, like, genuinely. And then you're just continuing life defending, because it's like, you don't understand, because no one actually truly understands my situation. Like, unless I'm going to sit in a group of people who have lost their children and be like, oh, let's talk about their feelings and situations, which I do not want to do, like, at all. You know, I hit a low depression state where I was like, damn, where do I go from here? And I had to pick myself up to be like, I can't be crying every single day. Like, I can't be on the verge of ending it all every single day. Like, I need to build something up to fight back and become a better person, because who am I going to be when my son comes home and I'm like, oh, by the way, I just crumbled and never, like, got anywhere? Like, at least I can show a thought or a pattern or something to, this is how we've been, or this is how things have moved. So yeah, we're learning from our mistakes, if that makes sense. Glitch in the matrix. Anyway, we're back. I think the main thing about being toxic is you don't actually realise that you are toxic until a whole situation has blew up. And that's not just once, that's not twice, that's not 20 times. I'm talking like 67 times. Like, you don't learn. Again, those that don't hear must feel. And we just keep feeling. Like, and I don't know if that's like going back to the whole closure thing again, because we're constantly chasing something that is not going to happen, like, at all. And we're forcing something so much that it's now explosive, like, it's now destructive, you know. It's a lot to take in. And I think, like, especially for me, in a breakup, which we will actually go into in episode 3 a lot more, I think there's certain stages that, like, I have when I'm in a relationship, and like, there's certain levels that I'll hit, or certain boundaries that I would actually cross or not cross. Like, so yeah, we'll be exploring them a lot more in the next episode, guys. Well, I definitely, like, have started holding accountability and realising the harm that I was causing when I lost, like, one of my closest friends that I had for a very long time. And when I lost her, like, I thought I was always that friend to be checking in on people and making sure that people are good. And I think, like, when you've got someone around you who is very strong, we was having this conversation the other day, like, when you have someone around you that's very strong, you stop checking in on them and you stop asking them. Or, like, I was asking her, like, are you good though? Like, how are you? And she'd be like, yeah, I'm good though. Like, and she wouldn't really, like, express anything that was going on in her life, because she was a very closed person. And I was constantly, like, trauma dumping on her, like, oh, me and him are doing this, like, telling her about my relationships, and we're arguing. And, you know, it probably became a thing that she was actually, like, I don't know, like, she was probably sick of it. Like, it got to a point where she was just like, this person is not realistically my friend. Like, she isn't there for me, do you know what I mean? And I'm there for her all the time. And it was only until, like, she did something to me that was bad that made me sit back and actually realise, you know what, it's time to let this person go, because this like, friendship has not been healthy at all. Like, this has not been a good, healthy relationship, like I was going to say. I lost my train, but, like, that's just what it is. So I think the truth about my toxic patterns is they didn't come from anywhere though. So then obviously going through friendships where I've bonded with people so much, and relationships where I've bonded with people and then had people betray me or then turn against me, or that's the same thing. Like, But do you know what I mean? Like, how switched up, then that's what really affects you, because now, like, I am very thoughtful now in my friendships, like, moving on, and I feel like I've been able to retain a lot better friendships, like, being able to accept that this isn't a one-sided thing. So yeah, just breaking them habits, really, isn't it? So yeah, it's been good, like, yeah, literally making better friendships and making, like, better connections with people and bettering yourself, because, you know, like, better habits and stuff, and knowing the spaces that, like, you want to be in and you want to get to. Like, I was very unhappy in my friendship at the time, but I couldn't really see anything else. I couldn't have any other friends that were coming along, or the ones that were, they were showing me, like, newer things. Like, I had friends along the way that were coming and saying, why are you with that man? Like, why are you friends with that person? Or why are you, do you know what I mean? So, like, it's just about listening to them, and also getting the right advice from the right people. Because if I'm getting advice from somebody that, like, I'm not gonna lie, I see your life and it's going to crap, like, I'm not really gonna take in that advice as much. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you've got to surround yourself by people who are actually on the right path and are in good situations, that when you can go and ask them for advice, they're actually giving you genuine advice. And, you know, we were saying this literally before, I keep saying this, talking about, you can never get advice from somebody that doesn't understand your situation. And I'm not saying go and put yourself around a load of depressed people and hope that they will understand you, but if you start opening up to people and telling your stories to people, people will then actually start opening up back to you, and you will start realizing that, you know, your story might be a little bit different, but it's kind of the same, so they can advise you and they can relate. And hopefully this is something that this series does, because I'm going to be sharing experiences that hopefully you can relate to and you can learn lessons from, in terms of, these are things that I have done and have effed up, basically, and have had to learn the hard way. So hopefully try and save you guys from learning the hard way and having to feel, because, baby, it's time to stop feeling. It's a lot. So yeah, it's about knowing where my toxicity comes from. It didn't erase the damage that has been done. But again, like you said, breaking the habits, does it give me something to work with? Of course. Understanding is not excusing, but it's a starting point, you know? So we're getting somewhere. Again, the patterns I inherited are not the patterns that I have to carry on with in life. It is what shapes me, but it's not what defines me. No, I'm joking. But it's not what I'm going to move on with in my life anyway. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. I'm excited for the next one. So we're going to talk about me in relationships. So yeah, this should be fun. And we do, like, I'm so wanting to tell them what we're going to be talking about in other episodes, but it's a roller coaster. It's cool. It's cute. No, joking. It's a roller coaster, but, like, it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's fantastic. The way that it's been crafted and honestly laid out, it's gonna be a nice watch for y'all. It's a nice, do you know what I mean? So yeah, guys, if you made it this far, make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment, let's connect. Again, this is a community, it's a safe space. We're all toxic. If you relate, you're toxic. But let's understand. Let's move on. See you in the next episode.
AB, spin that.